I discovered my husband's secret love letters hidden in the attic. Have you ever discovered a secret that could shatter your entire life in a single moment? That's exactly what happened to me one rainy afternoon while I was cleaning the attic. I had always thought our marriage was perfect, or at least I wanted to believe it was. My husband was loving, attentive, and kind, the kind of person everyone envies. But that day, hidden beneath old boxes and forgotten photo albums, I found a stack of envelopes that would change everything I thought I knew about him. First, I froze. My hands hovered over the letters, unsure if I was ready to face what they contained. What if I was imagining things? What if my suspicion was wrong? But something deep inside me urged curiosity, even fear, to push forward. I carefully picked up the top envelope, noticing the delicate handwriting and the faint scent of perfume that didn't belong to me. My heart raced, and suddenly I realized that these weren't ordinary letters. They were personal, secret, and meant to stay hidden. As I held the first letter in my hands, I couldn't help but replay the small oddities I had dismissed over the past months. Late-night calls, vague excuses, and secretive smiles that seemed innocent at the time now took on a darker meaning. Could I have missed all the signs? Could someone I trusted completely be hiding an entire life behind my back? My chest tightened with a mix of anxiety and dread. I slowly opened the letter, my eyes scanning the first few lines. The words were intimate, filled with emotions I had never expected. Words meant for someone else, not me. Each sentence cut deeper than I imagined, revealing a closeness and affection that didn't belong in our marriage. I felt a wave of disbelief and sorrow. How could he write such things, and how could I have remained blind for so long? And yet, even in that moment of shock, a strange curiosity tugged at me. What other secrets lay hidden in the rest of the envelopes? What stories, confessions, and betrayals would I uncover if I continued? The fear of the truth battled with the need to know, and my hands shook as I reached for the next letter. If you want to see how this shocking story ends, don't forget to subscribe, because what I discovered in that attic would change my life forever, and reveal a truth I never could have imagined. My hands trembled as I unfolded the second letter. Each envelope felt like a doorway into a world I had never known, a world my husband had carefully hidden from me. I could feel my chest tighten with every word, a mix of fear, sorrow, and disbelief pressing down on me. How could someone I trusted completely live a secret life right under my nose? The thought made my stomach churn. The letter detailed moments I had no idea existed. Late-night encounters, private conversations, and heartfelt promises shared with someone else. Every line was a stab at the life I thought we had built together. I couldn't help but question myself. Had I missed all the signs? Was I too trusting, too naive? Or had he become a stranger in my own home, hiding behind a mask I thought I knew so well? As I read, I remembered small incidents that suddenly didn't make sense. The sudden work trips, the vague explanations for disappearing for hours, the tiny gifts and gestures I had assumed were meant for me. Were they? My mind raced, piecing together the puzzle. But each new detail only made the picture darker. Could someone really maintain such a double life without leaving a trace? The thought sent shivers down my spine. Then came a subtle, chilling micro-twist. One of the letters mentioned a name I recognized. Not a stranger, but someone I had trusted, someone who had been part of our social circle for years. My heart skipped a beat. Could this person be involved? I couldn't breathe, my thoughts spinning out of control. The betrayal was bigger, more intricate, and far more personal than I had imagined. I asked myself repeatedly, what would you do in my situation? Would you confront the person immediately or gather every piece of the puzzle first? Could you forgive a betrayal so layered and hidden? The questions had no easy answers, and the fear of uncovering even more secrets made my hands shake uncontrollably. I carefully picked up the next envelope, my hands shaking with a mix of fear and curiosity. The handwriting looked familiar yet different, almost deliberate. I braced myself as I opened it, knowing that whatever I found could change everything. The letter wasn't just filled with longing or affection. It contained details only he and this person could have known. My chest tightened, and I realized with horror that this wasn't a past mistake. It was ongoing right under my roof. Each line I read felt like a punch to the heart. He described moments so intimate, so personal that I could hardly breathe. I kept replaying our recent days together, trying to reconcile the man I loved with the words on the page. Was it really possible that I had been living alongside this hidden reality, blind to everything? My mind reeled, and a wave of nausea swept over me. Then came a subtle clue that made my stomach drop. A small symbol at the bottom of the letter. I had seen it before in another envelope. My pulse raced. Could it be a signature, a mark linking the letters together? The thought made the betrayal feel more deliberate, more calculated. My heart pounded as I realized this wasn't random or accidental. It had been orchestrated, hidden in plain sight. I paused, letting the weight of the words sink in. Could I forgive someone capable of this level of secrecy? Could I trust my own instincts again? Every memory I had of our life together suddenly felt tainted. The late-night calls, the casual excuses, even the small gestures of affection. I couldn't tell which were real and which were part of this hidden web. And then a creeping fear gripped me. If these letters were ongoing, what else hadn't I discovered? What other secrets lurked in the shadows of our marriage? My hands trembled as I clutched the envelope, feeling the cold paper against my skin. I knew one thing for certain. I couldn't stop now. I had to uncover every letter, every confession, and every hidden truth, no matter how painful. What would you do if you found proof that the person you trusted was living a secret life right under your nose? Could you handle it? Could you face the truth, even if it shattered everything you believed? I wasn't sure I could, but I had no choice. I sank onto the attic floor, my heart racing, my hands clutching the next envelope. Each letter was like a window into a hidden world, a life my husband had kept secret from me. As I unfolded it, my eyes widened. This one detailed meetings I had no idea about, moments where he had chosen someone else's presence over mine. Every word felt like a dagger, each line a reminder that the life I thought I shared with him was far from the truth. I replayed recent events in my mind, the unexplained work trips, the long evenings he said he spent alone, the gifts I had assumed were meant for me. Could I have been so blind? Or had he become a stranger in my own home, masking his real self behind the smiles I trusted? My chest tightened, a knot of fear and anger twisting deeper with each line I read. Then the micro-twist hit me. A name I recognized appeared in the letter. Not a stranger, but someone I had known, someone I had welcomed into our home countless times. My stomach dropped. Could this person be involved? The betrayal felt more personal, more invasive than I had ever imagined. I felt exposed, almost violated, knowing that someone I considered trustworthy might have been complicit in this hidden life. I asked myself over and over, what would you do in this situation? Would you confront the truth immediately or gather more evidence first? Could you forgive someone who had not only hidden letters and secret meetings, but had also involved someone close to you? Each question left a hollow ache in my chest, and I felt the weight of uncertainty pressing down harder than ever. The letters were no longer just words on paper. They were evidence of a calculated deception, a secret network of emotions, and choices that had been deliberately concealed. My hands shook as I realized that the next envelope might reveal even more, an even deeper layer of betrayal that I wasn't sure I was ready to face. My hands were trembling as I opened the next letter. Each envelope I pulled from the stack felt heavier than the last, carrying secrets I wasn't sure I was ready to face. This one was different. It wasn't just words of affection, it was plans, meetings, and confessions that pointed to someone I had trusted, someone who had been part of our social circle. My stomach twisted. The betrayal wasn't distant, it was painfully close, hidden in plain sight. I couldn't stop thinking about the small signs I had brushed aside. The vague explanations, the sudden disappearances, the casual gifts that suddenly felt like messages meant for someone else. Could I have ignored all of this? Or had he become a stranger while living under my roof? My chest ached with the realization that the life I thought was real had been carefully constructed around lies. Then came the micro-twist I never expected. One line mentioned a recent meeting at a familiar location, somewhere I had visited countless times with him. My heart skipped a beat. Could he really have carried on a secret life in a place so close to home? The thought made my hands shake uncontrollably, and fear mixed with anger surged through me. I realized that uncovering the truth might not just break my heart, it could shatter my entire sense of reality. I asked myself, what would you do if you discovered that someone you loved deeply was hiding secrets involving people you trusted? Could you forgive them? Could you even confront the situation without losing control? The questions were unbearable. But I knew I couldn't stop now. Each letter demanded to be read. Each word demanded acknowledgement. And the fear of what came next was almost paralyzing. The weight of the betrayal pressed down on me, making it hard to breathe. I could no longer separate love from deception, trust from manipulation. Every memory, every smile, every conversation we had shared was tainted with doubt. I realized that my next steps could change everything: my trust, my marriage, and my future. I couldn't stop now. My hands shook as I reached for the next envelope, knowing that whatever lay inside could change everything. This letter was different. It wasn't just about past mistakes. It hinted at ongoing actions, secret meetings, and moments that had happened while I believed our marriage was safe. My chest tightened. The betrayal wasn't just history. It was happening right under my nose. And I had been blind to it. As I read, a wave of disbelief and sorrow washed over me. The words detailed choices he had made, choices I hadn't known existed. Every line forced me to replay the past months, trying to distinguish between what had been real and what had been carefully orchestrated. Could someone I loved completely live a secret life and still appear the same person I had trusted? The thought made my stomach churn. Then the micro-twist hit like a lightning strike. The letter mentioned a location I knew all too well, somewhere I had visited with him many times. My heart pounded. Could he have continued this hidden life so close to home? The realization made my hands tremble, and a knot of fear and anger twisted deeper in my chest. The betrayal wasn't just emotional, it was deliberate, ongoing, and personal. I paused, trying to breathe, but my mind raced. Could I confront him now? Could I demand answers without pushing him further into secrecy? Every instinct in me screamed to uncover the truth. But fear whispered that I might not be ready for what I would find. The attic felt suffocating, the air thick with tension, as if the walls themselves were holding their breath with me. I asked myself repeatedly, what would you do if the person you trusted most was hiding a life right in front of you? Could you face the truth without shattering completely? Could you forgive someone capable of such deception? The questions were relentless, and I knew that the next letter could push me over the edge, or reveal the shocking truth I had been searching for. The next envelope felt heavier than the rest, as if it carried the weight of every secret I had uncovered so far. My hands were shaking, my chest tight, but I couldn't stop. I carefully unfolded the letter, and as I read, the tension in my body coiled tighter. This one revealed not just moments of hidden affection, but choices, decisions that had been made without me, in secret, but with someone I thought I could trust. Each sentence felt like a blow. I replayed every memory we had shared over the past months, wondering which moments were genuine and which had been carefully orchestrated. Could someone I loved so completely be capable of this? The realization made my hands tremble, and a wave of despair swept over me. I felt both heartbreak and fury, emotions so raw they left me breathless. Then came the micro-twist I hadn't seen coming. A detail in the letter suggested that someone close to me, not a stranger, had been involved in the secret encounters. My stomach dropped. The betrayal wasn't just about hidden letters or late-night meetings. It was personal, intimate, and painfully close. The thought of it made my chest tighten even further. I paused, letting the words sink in. Could I confront him now? Could I forgive him if I found out the full truth? Or would the revelations destroy everything I had built with him? I couldn't stop asking myself these questions, each one more agonizing than the last. My mind raced, torn between anger, sorrow, and the desperate need to uncover the whole story. Every memory, every smile, every seemingly innocent moment suddenly felt tainted. The realization that someone I trusted had been hiding such a complex web of lies made my world spin. I knew that the next envelope could reveal an even deeper betrayal, something I wasn't sure I was ready to face, but I had to know. By now, the attic felt suffocating, the air thick with tension. Each envelope I opened revealed more than just words. It exposed choices, secrets, and betrayals I hadn't imagined possible. My chest ached with every line I read, and my hands shook uncontrollably. This wasn't just emotional deception anymore. It was manipulation, planning, and deliberate concealment. I felt like I was peeling back layers of a life I didn't even know existed. Then came the twist that made my heart stop. One letter revealed that the person my husband had been involved with wasn't acting alone. She had been manipulating him, using guilt and control to keep him entangled. And the letters were a part of her trap. Suddenly, the betrayal had another dimension. He wasn't entirely to blame. And yet, the emotional wounds ran just as deep. My mind swirled with confusion and anger. How could love and deceit be so tangled together? I struggled to breathe, to understand, to process the fact that the life I thought I had shared with him was entwined with lies, secrets, and manipulation. Could I forgive him for being trapped? Could I separate my anger from compassion? The questions were suffocating. And yet I knew I couldn't stop. Each envelope was a piece of a puzzle I had to see fully before I could decide what to do next. As I reached for the next letter, I realized that this betrayal wasn't just emotional. It had invaded the life I had trusted him with. The more I uncovered, the more I understood the depths of deception and manipulation at play. My mind raced. Could this marriage survive the truth? Could I survive it? By the 9th envelope, my hands were trembling so much it was hard to hold it steady. Each letter had been a blow. But this one felt different. The words weren't just confessions, they were explanations, hints at motives, and fragments of a secret world I had never imagined. My chest tightened as I realized how deeply entangled my husband had become, and how much of it had been hidden right under my nose. Then came the micro-twist that made my heart skip a beat. The letter revealed a plan, something he had been trying to resolve, a choice between honesty and continued secrecy. For the first time I saw not just betrayal, but desperation, fear, but a hint of regret. Could someone I loved so completely truly have been caught in a trap they didn't know how to escape? The complexity of the situation made my head spin. I replayed the past months in my mind, trying to separate truth from manipulation. Could I forgive him if I knew the full story? Could I trust my instincts again after realizing that some people I had trusted might have been involved in deceiving him as well? The questions tore at me, each one sharper than the last. My emotions were a storm of anger, sorrow, confusion, and a strange flicker of sympathy. I paused, letting the weight of the letter sink in. The attic felt colder, darker, almost like the walls themselves were holding their breath, waiting for me to discover the final truths. The next envelope, I realized, would either bring clarity or shatter what little trust one had left. Could I handle it? Could I face the ultimate betrayal and still survive? I unfolded the final letter with trembling hands, my heart pounding so violently it felt like it would burst. This was it, the truth I had been dreading and desperate to uncover. The envelope was heavier than the others, as if it carried the weight of all the secrets I had discovered. My fingers shook as I opened it, bracing myself for the revelation that could change everything. The words hit me like a tidal wave. He admitted everything. Not just the hidden affection, not just secret meetings, but the full story. Every moment of closeness, every whispered word, every deception carefully hidden was written out in detail. My chest tightened, my stomach churned, and for a moment, I felt as though the floor beneath me had disappeared. The man I loved, the life I had trusted, had been built on lies, or so it seemed. Then came the ultimate twist. Buried in the letter was a revelation I hadn't expected. The other person hadn't been acting alone. She had been manipulating him, emotionally controlling him, using the letters to trap him in a web of guilt and deceit. Suddenly, my anger collided with sympathy. The betrayal was real, but so was the manipulation he had endured. My mind spun as I tried to reconcile the truth. I sat back, my body trembling, realizing that the road ahead would be complicated. Could I forgive him? Could I rebuild trust? The answer wasn't simple, but I knew that confrontation was the first step. We talked for hours, honestly, painfully, and openly. He admitted his guilt, his entrapment, and the mistakes he had made while caught in a web of manipulation. For the first time in weeks, I felt clarity. The attic, once a place of horror, became the site of truth and reckoning. We acknowledged the deception, the emotional turmoil, and the pain. While the future was uncertain, the first step toward understanding and healing had begun. I realized that love isn't just about trust. It's about facing shadows together, confronting hidden truths, and deciding whether to fight for what matters most. Could I fully forgive him? That would take time. Could our marriage survive? Perhaps. But one thing was certain. The letters had forced me to confront the reality of who he truly was and to face the truth, no matter how painful. And in that confrontation there was a strange clarity. A way forward even after betrayal. If this story shocked you, hit subscribe and join us for more jaw-dropping confessions. Because sometimes the truth is hidden in the shadows. And the only way to survive it is to face it head-on.